Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn Douglas. Welcome to UW 360. We're joining you from historic Suzzallo Library. This incredible building has been both an architectural and historical treasure at the University of Washington for decades. But it also contains some modern wonders inside. We're going to get a closer look at all this amazing place has to offer a little later in the show. We'll also learn about a great new way for students to get rid of all their extra stuff at the end of the school year. And we'll go one-on-one with new Husky football coach Chris Petersen and hear his thoughts about the upcoming season with the team he inherited. First, though, many of us grew up with an image of our friendly pharmacist filling prescriptions at the neighborhood drugstore. Today, pharmacy extends far beyond the corner store. At the UW School of Pharmacy, the training is long and intense. But for clinical professor Don Downing and his students, it's also a labor of love.
Most of the time we can get by with a standard dose. The University of Washington School of Pharmacy has three missions. One is to teach, one is to provide research, and the other is to provide community service.
Those three missions are woven into everything Don Downing does, in the classroom, in the community, or in a remote corner of the world.
We finally got the medicine she needed to her. Yeah.
As a clinical professor at the UW School of Pharmacy, Downing exemplifies his profession.
Pharmacists are the best educated medication specialists.
And I think it's important to be prepared.
I'm passionate to make sure that pharmacists are there for people.
And it's that kind of passion that draws students to his classes.
He just opens people's eyes to the possibilities of what a pharmacist can do.
Which end do you put on your ear? I love working with students. They're so smart and they're so idealistic and they're so capable of providing so much good care.
Providing good care is the goal, but according to Downing, for pharmacists, it can also be a challenge.
You see not only over-the-counter medicines, prescription bottles, you see that somebody is smoking. This represents a combination that leads to people being hospitalized unnecessarily. They say take them to the pharmacy and have them do it. But in fact, the pharmacist is only paid to do one thing, and that is sell them more pills. And that has to change.
Change has defined Downing's life. As a pharmacist, a teacher, and an advocate, he's traveled across the country and around the world to change this perception.
People come to me, oh, you're a pill pusher, you're a pharmacist. The media often portrays pharmacists counting pills in a tray, and that just reinforces the perception that that's what pharmacists are trained to do. I'm sorry, you don't need a minimum of 8 years of college to count by fives on a prescription tray.
So what do you feel about
At UW School of Pharmacy, that clinical cornerstone is built on intense training that goes far beyond dispensing medications. For UW Pharmacy students, community service is another cornerstone beyond the borders of the classroom. Under Downing's leadership, students go everywhere, from Honduras to India to Ethiopia.
Well, we'll set up a mobile clinic. We'll bring physicians and dentists and pharmacists to support this effort. And we will provide our students with an opportunity to see that pharmacists have an opportunity to work as a member of the healthcare team.
And she said, I just want to say thank you.
For Don Downing, the best prescription for patients is a healthcare team that works together for the greater good.
The quicker that we, in fact, learn the value of healthcare providers not competing but collaborating, the better everybody is going to do, and especially the patient.
All the pharmacy students we spoke with told us the public service they provide is the best part of their education, whether it's at a local mission or on the other side of the world. When we come back, a great new way to get rid of all that extra stuff students accumulate throughout the school year as UW 360 continues. Welcome back to UW 360. Every summer, as we come to the end of another school year here at the UW, many students face a challenging question beyond their final exams: what to do with all their stuff they no longer need or want to take home with them. Bob Branham has a great answer to that question.
Amber Moore gets some help from her dad as she and her roommate Carson move out of their University of Washington residence hall toward the end of the school year. It's a big job, hauling boxes of all kinds of things amidst the frenzy of finals week. Amber and her roommate are joining tens of thousands of students moving out for the year, but moving out without taking a lot of their stuff with them.
I had some clothes, I had some household stuff, some kitchen stuff, and then a little bit of food.
Carrie Michelson is one. Rather than toss things out or haul home things she no longer needs on campus, she's donating them to a UW program called SCRAM, standing for Student Cleanup, Recycle, and Move Out.
Even after a really challenging week of finals, they have an alternative place to put their stuff rather than just throwing it away.
Emily Newcomer is Assistant Director of Recycling and Solid Waste at the university. We spoke to her at the giant sorting yard just off campus. She says SCRAM is a win-win. Students get rid of things they don't want, the goods go to charities and not to landfills. And there's one more win: the U of W saves money.
If all of this material you see behind us was actually to be thrown away, it would cost us $145 per ton. Instead, we are actually benefiting the community.
Such as Northwest Center. You've no doubt seen their iconic blue trucks around town. Donations to Northwest Center help pay for early learning programs and job training for the unemployed and low income.
We probably collect about, out of here in a week's time, about 7 tons of items between clothing and household items. So it's quite, it's a substantial amount that then fund our programs and also get diverted from the landfill.
Emily Newcomer says since SCRAM began 10 years ago, 111 tons of material have gone to a wide range of charities and food banks. Some items are relatively high value, such as working microwaves, TVs, and refrigerators. But UW Recycling's Jessica Leszewski says every donated item is checked out. Even a simple thing like a notebook is kept out of the landfill if possible.
If it has a higher use to be used by some kid that can't afford that notebook, that is a much better use for that. And so that is our goal, to get the highest value out of all of the materials possible.
It's a terrific program.
For Ginny Flanagan, the recycling program is a godsend. She's the facilities manager for the UW's residence halls, and one of her jobs is to make sure the dorms are ready for the coming year. SCRAM makes that job much easier.
It's diverting so much from the landfill, but it's also helping us in terms of getting stuff out of the building and to the right spot. So it does get recycled in one way or another.
And she says it can be a teaching moment for students who are here from around the world.
Wherever they're coming from, they may not be recycling the way Seattle recycles. They may not be composting the way Seattle's composting.
The University of Washington is really committed to sustainability, and this is just another one of those programs that supports that mission.
After going 8-4 last year during the regular season, the future looked promising for Husky football. But Husky Nation was rocked last December when coach Steve Sarkisian left town for rival USC. But it didn't take long for the Huskies to find his successor, and what a successor they found. Chris Petersen compiled an impressive 92-12 record at Boise State, including 2 unbeaten seasons. Those credentials bode very well for the Huskies as they enter the 2014 season.
I can't sleep at night. I can't wait. 75,000 people come through the stadium and have it rocking, and it's just going to be an awesome feeling to have a great and winning season.
That feeling reflects the attitude of the Washington Huskies as they head into Chris Petersen's first year as head coach. There was a bit of angst last December when former coach Steve Sarkisian unexpectedly left the Huskies and returned to USC. That left many players like Jadon Mickens wondering who would be the new Husky coach.
At first, I didn't know what to think. My mind was going in every direction. Coach Sark was like my father away from home. So it's like your father leaving and a stepdad is coming in, so you don't know what to expect.
I kind of grew up in the Don James era of football.
4 days after Sark's departure, the team has a new answer. Petersen is the new Husky head coach. It didn't take long for him to win over the hearts and minds of his new team. His track record at Boise State didn't hurt either.
Coach Petersen just comes out, he wants discipline, because he knows discipline can beat talent any day. So he comes out, he preaches discipline, he preaches fundamentals, he preaches doing everything with technique, and that's going to help win a lot of football games.
Big play there. Wow.
The strength of the 2014 Huskies is their defense. Washington brings back 6 of 7 starters in their front 7, including senior defensive tackle Danny Shelton.
We're really going to make sure my defensive line takes the field and just dominates. That's what our main goal is every day: dominate, show effort, and help the team win the game.
Standout linebacker Shaq Thompson returns, along with the Huskies' best cornerback from last season, Marcus Peters. But Peters is the only starter returning in the secondary. All eyes will be on that unit to see how it stands up against its pass-happy Pac-12 opponents. On offense, the Huskies have the luxury of having all 5 starters returning on offensive line. But questions linger around the skilled positions. The Huskies are still undecided about who will be the new starting quarterback to replace Keith Price. At running back, someone needs to fill the big shoes of Bishop Sankey, who set a single-season Husky record last year for most yards rushing and ended his career as the all-time Husky leader for rushing touchdowns. Thankfully, there are several strong candidates to take over the running game. One more thing in the Huskies' favor: a relatively easy schedule. Washington begins the season with 4 non-conference opponents. The Pac-12 schedule is always demanding. The Huskies have only one real difficult road game, and that's against Oregon.
So what does new coach Petersen have to say about the upcoming season and the team he inherited? That story just ahead as UW360 continues. Welcome back to UW360. He is the only 2-time winner of the prestigious Paul Bear Bryant Award, given each year to the finest coaches in college football. He compiled an impressive 92-12 record in his 8 seasons as head coach of Boise State and earned a reputation for being a clever offensive innovator. Who can forget all the razzle-dazzle trick plays he ran to win the 2007 Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma? And now he's here, Chris Petersen, the new head coach of the Washington Huskies. But as producer Ben Sabunchian learned in an exclusive interview, Coach Petersen doesn't care for all the hoopla surrounding his career. He would much prefer to stay out of the limelight.
Competition, here we go! You don't like to do a lot of these types of interviews. You don't like to be in the media. You want people to be focusing on the players on the team. Is that correct?
I think it's all about the players. And everybody thinks it's the head coach, but I really think it's the players and our assistant coaches. And that's why I've had so much success along my journey, is we've had really, really good players that have been great people and had a crew of coaches around me that are really special. Not only great football coaches, but really, really good people.
Stay on your feet. Stay on your feet. What's an OKG?
An OKG, love it. That's our kind of guy, and that's what we try to recruit here to Washington. And really, it means it's a really good kid. I mean, you walk into the school and everybody goes, "Oh, that's a great kid. Oh, I like that guy." But he's also a really good football player.
Talk about this upcoming season. A lot of Husky fans are a little frustrated. You haven't been to the Rose Bowl for a long time. What do you do to take us to that next level?
If you just keep thinking about Rose Bowls and conference championships and getting into that national tournament, I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal at the end of the day. But that's not where our focus is. It's really on, you know, how we conduct ourselves day in and day out and really becoming the best version of ourselves.
Steps back, throws the ball, got it over the middle, has it complete, and it's lateral at the 30, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Boise!
I think that a lot of us, when we learned that you were coming here as head coach, thought, oh great, we're going to have that same, you know, razzle-dazzle that Boise State had. Is that true?
Well, the thing that I chuckle about on that is, you know, for some reason, I know some reason, it started in that first Fiesta Bowl that we hit those trick plays that we really needed.
Under center goes Zabransky, rolls to his right, fakes it, it's back to Johnson, he scores!
But really, that's not what our offense was all about. I mean, really, we were kind of a hard-nosed, downhill, run-first, really efficient quarterback play offense. But people would know us for these trick plays, and so we like to have fun, and the kids like to you know, do trick plays, and they're usually pretty good at it. So we'll have some flair there as well. But if you're going to win and win big, it comes down to fundamental football, of running the ball and making your quarterback successful and playing really good defense.
You brought Boise State here, was it last year or the year before?
We've been here twice at Boise State, but it was last year.
So you're used to this crowd noise. At least it's in your favor this time.
I can't tell you how much I couldn't stand it and how irritating it was. And it's amazing when you walk, what is it, 50-some yards across the field, that all of a sudden that noise turns to music in your ears. So I'm excited to be here.
It's an advantage now.
No question.
Coach Petersen reportedly turned down offers from several other universities, including USC, before he took the Husky job. He says the quality of education here at UW, combined with the opportunity to live and work in Seattle, were the deciding factors that brought him here. When we come back, we turn our attention back to this incredible building and take a tour of Suzzallo Library as UW 360 continues. Welcome back to UW 360. You can find a lot of buildings in the Gothic style here on campus, but none more beautifully executed than this central library, Suzzallo Library. It contains millions of publications, and despite its ancient look from the outside, it's a model of a modern library here on the inside, with one very notable exception. Bob Branham reports.
For second-year student J.J. Woodley, Suzzallo Library played a large part in her decision to enroll at the University of Washington.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely amazing. That's one thing that really sparked my interest in the campus itself.
Tens of millions of people have followed J.J. through these doors since they first opened in the mid-20s. Built in a Tudor collegiate Gothic style, the library was unlike any other structure in the United States at the time.
To have seen a building like this would have required you going to England. You would have had to gone to Cambridge or Oxford.
This was the brainchild and passion of Henry Suzzallo, the university president at the time. In 1927, the original wing of the library was completed, including the grand staircase and the soaring, majestic reading room. But it opened only after Suzzallo went over the head of the Washington state governor to raise $300,000. A lot of money then. Too much, the governor thought, but necessary to build the cathedral of learning that Suzzallo wanted.
Literally, on the day that the building was to be dedicated, the governor fired Henry Suzzallo. And the building wasn't named after Henry Suzzallo until he died.
Since then, additional wings have been added, and combined with other U of W libraries, the university now boasts the 9th largest library system in the U.S., with more than 8 million books. Suzzallo alone has 60 miles of bookshelves. When I was a student here, many years ago, you basically had to know the Library of Congress or Dewey Decimal Systems to find a book on these shelves. My, how things have changed. Now a media center and state-of-the-art computer system guides you to the giant collection of DVDs, books, and online offerings. Or you may prefer human help.
We have a lot of different types of materials, so it's hard to create sort of there's no real one-stop shop, but that's what the librarians and our library staff are here for.
From its Gothic style of architecture to its state-of-the-art computer system, Suzzallo's always been a blend of the old and new. But it was one revolutionary new development that initially caused great concern here: the internet.
Terrifying. for libraries.
They worry the internet might keep students at their home or dorm and away from the libraries.
And for a while that looked like that was going to be true.
Library visits dropped off sharply at first, but after 6 or 7 years, they began to climb again.
And now we find that we are busier than this building has ever been.
Attracting library users to a growing variety of spaces, from collaborative areas where talk and sharing of ideas is encouraged, to a busy, bustling cafeteria, to the reading room, which features stained glass windows, a hand-painted ceiling 65 feet tall, and absolute silence.
The reading room has remained kind of a place of sacred quiet, and the students almost police themselves in that room.
Paula Walker helped oversee a $44 million renovation a decade ago. Earthquake bracing is visible through much of the building, but not the reading room.
We wanted the reading room to look the same way that it did before the retrofit as it did after, and we succeeded.
Also left intact, the 1927 chandeliers, which were originally designed to focus light on the beautiful ceiling above, not the darkened desks below. That alarmed the original librarians.
So they made the decision and they flipped them all upside down. So since then, the chandeliers are actually all hanging upside down.
Lighting the way for generations of scholars inspired by this beacon of knowledge that shines by day and by night.
The cathedral of learning that this library was built to be continues to be that. It inspires.
Believe it or not, more than 2 million people visit Suzzallo every year. In fact, so many have climbed the grand staircase over the decades, you can actually see the dips of wear in the marble stairs. Just one more sign of Suzzallo's lasting appeal from the 1920s to today. And that does it for this edition of UW360. If you'd like more information on any of the stories you saw today, just head to our website at uwtv.org/UW360. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Carolyn Douglas. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with all new stories from the University of Washington.